Morning, it's me again. Yep, still me. Day 15, no, not day 15, no, day 4, yes, 4, Tuesday the 15th of September. And here I am on the shores of Plymouth Sound. Is it Plymouth Sound? I don't know. There's probably a name for it. That's the Tamar over there. I'm going to go and cross that at some point soon. And there's Plymouth still. I didn't bother crashing on over there to find a hotel or anything. It seemed like a madness and folly, to be honest. But look at this, which you can't see because of the white balance. Sunrise over Plymouth Harbour. So that over there in the middle is Drake Island. I saw an episode of Abandoned Engineering on Yesterday channel on Freeview that covered that place extensively. Old 18th century powder store and stuff like that. It's all quite dangerous over there apparently. Yeah. Oh, there we go. And I'm not, not saying anyone did sleep here overnight. If they did, my word, what a tidy person they are. Not me, no, I'm just having a rest after having walked all night. So yeah, good night's rest anyway. Feet still ache a bit, but I think that's going to happen. I think that's going to be it. Basically, they're not going to be better until I get home. So more and more reason to get home. So schedule-wise, I don't know. So I'm going to cross over there, get through Plymouth fairly quickly. I'm not going to bother detouring into town and do any shopping or anything like that. I just want to follow the route, get out the other side, and eventually end up over there, Wembury. It's like a town or village along the shore on the other side. Got to stop looking into the morning sun. Gosh, there's spots everywhere now. I can't see straight. Yeah. So I'm trying to aim for somewhere called Newton Ferrers today, or as is becoming usual, just short of it in a hedge nearby. But it kind of puts me back on track for my 6-day plan, I think. Or was it a 7-day plan but a day early? I kind of lost track a bit. Basically my half-day start seems to have turned into a almost more or less full day with my somewhat pushing aheadness. And so spent 2.5 days and got 3 days travelling, and this is day 4. So there are 7 days of travel in total, unless I start compressing it even further in the remaining days, which I really don't want to do, but somehow kind of seem to end up doing. It's I don't know. I have one pace. That's the problem. I have one speed, and you just sort of get your head down and you go for it. Oh, hello. What have we found here? That's not one of mine. Yeah, I'll leave that there. Actually, I'll probably take it away as litter. Yeah, see, not the only one. Well, yeah, the bonfire as well, burnt wood and such. No, I'm positively Spartan by comparison to some. Yeah, so Newton Ferrers today after a bit of a feed over there. There's about to be a dockside, like leisure retail complex type place that I can find a cup of coffee at least. I mean, I stink, so obviously not going to go in anywhere fancy. Clothes change tomorrow, one way or another. Normally I like to combine that with a shower and a comfy bed at a B&B halfway through, but since the COVIDs and everything, I'm just thinking of pressing on through and wild camping every night this trip. Bought double battery capacity for the phone so that I don't have to even plug my plug thing into a charger anywhere except on the train on the way to and from. So yeah, all right, well I'm going to hoist up and get moving, and that I've shaken the kinks out. Quite a restful night, quite a good night I think, although yeah, let's pitch the tent next to the busiest harbour in the southwest. Everything stops at 7 surely. So yeah, quite a lot of boat noises going on throughout the night, and some diesel noises just running continually 24/7 all through the night. But they were quite far away, and it was quite quite soothing in a way. So yeah, I had a spot of rain twice this morning, about 5 in the morning, 7. But it didn't last long enough to more than spot the canvas, and for some reason I've got no condensation on the tent today. I put it back in the bag dry even though it's been rained on. Must have been radiating a particularly fierce amount of heat last night. I think it's the tree cover, stops the dew a bit. or something. I don't know. The times I had the worst condensation was the first night on that cliff top, which they just exposed straight onto the sea there, no real cover. It wasn't windy, so it wasn't dangerous, but my God, the condensation, I think, was soaked when I put it back in the bag. But here, must be something to do with the tree shade or the shelter or something. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, so another day of trudging on, I think. Coming to terms with the injuries and ailments and stuff. That plaster didn't last. I just have to be careful not to ram the palm of my hand into any cowpats or anything. Oh, right, yep, gonna go and find a ferry. That's the thing. Get some breakfast in Devon. See, all that over there, that's all Devon. This is Cornwall. It's the last bit of Cornwall. I think if we were never allowed to travel by air again, we wouldn't be any poorer. Cornwall's fantastic. Pretty much something for everyone, except like a Parthenon or something. And they've got ruins, they've got archaeology. Got to pick the right time of year. Obviously it's pretty wretched in the winter, and I should know from personal experience. Lived there for a year, during the wrong part of the year. Everything was grey. I only saw colours again in like April. Anyway, waffling. Still in Cornwall, just can't leave. This is the Mount Edgecombe Historic Gardens I'm about to enter. I mean, this whole thing since like Kingsand, it's basically been the Mount Edgecombe Country Estate, which I totally didn't wild camp in. It looks charming actually. It's a little sort of temple thing in the distance. Looks like it might be well worth a day out if you're just down in this area anyway, but of course I haven't got time to saunter amongst the gardens. And look at this harbour, still as glass. I think I've lucked out with the weather again. It's supposed to be a bit cloudier today and somewhat cooler, but that's good because yesterday it was terrible. Can't take too many more days like that in a row, I don't think. But yeah, I think I've had all the rain that's forecast for the week. A sort of 10-minute burst this morning while I was still in my tent. That was totally not on these grounds. Anyway, so now I need to go through the more formal gardens, and presumably there's a ferry on the other side. And you see that I'd have had trouble. Formal gardens open 8 AM to dusk. So there we go. Actually, what time is it now? It's 7:51. Oh my God. I could wait here for 9 minutes. I could just wander through. Actually, it's padlock shut. It is. Yeah, so, well, there we go. I do have to wait till 8 AM to proceed. Well, there's worse places to wait. Certainly I'll go and park down on that picnic table. Maybe crack open another bag of nuts. Ready salted or honey roasted? Decisions on life on the trail. Right. Hopefully, well, I mean, there'll definitely be a ferry after 8 o'clock anyway. So yeah, I need to wait for them to come and open that gate. So they would have closed that probably just before I got there. So I'd have found myself stopped here anyway. And this is far too blatant to be camping, so no, I think I've done that all right. Good. Well, that looks like the ferry, but I'm in no state to run for the rest of this week, I don't think. Well, if it's there when I reach it, then good. Otherwise, well, I'll wait for the next one. Well, they probably run every 15 minutes or something. Yeah. So this is the Tamar now, this bit, I think. Yeah. Border of Cornwall. Squirrel. Oh, gone. Grey, of course. I long to see a red. Northern Scotland, I think, still has them. Brownsea Island. I went there once recently and tried to see any, but they were hiding or elusive or something. Oh, here goes one. Oh, shouty dog. Yeah, I'll get the next ferry. This is impressive. It's the orangery. We've got to have an orangery, of course. Looks like there's a cafe. Looks like they're setting up. No time to stop now. I want to get this ferry sorted. That is impressive. Little gatehouse. So I've missed the ferry. Next one's in 45 minutes. So, okay. Gonna be a slow day today. They're on their winter timetable. It started yesterday, apparently. So, not a problem here particularly. I just have to sit around for a bit longer, but do wonder about the remaining 3 river crossings I've got to do further on, including one at the end of today. Well, I'm going to camp this side of that crossing. I mean, basically, the sort of plan to this trip was to be camping just this side of any particular river crossing. That way I'd have the whole day, like now, to sort out the ferry. So here I am, stuck in Cornwall for an additional 45 minutes. It's alright. I spent so long faffing around with trying to get my face covering out of the bag and dig the wallet out and everything that it went off. I probably could have caught it if I didn't have to mask up. And that's COVID for you. Inconvenient to everyone. It's not a big problem. It's a nice morning. I can sit about here for a bit, finish my nuts. So yeah, lovely. Even more Cornwall than I was expecting. Feels like more. Oh, well, here we are. It's Devon. Plymouth. Alright, need to find some acorns and crack on. And get some cold fizzy drink while I'm on my way. Weather says there's going to be rain in about an hour. Can believe it. But then there's rain and then there's rain. I might just walk it off. Got all the waterproofs if I need it, but then it says it's going to be clear for the rest of the day. So good. The old impressive age of sea power stuff. Some sort of barbican, I think. Looks like a barbican. Royal Albert Yard or something. There's a sign over here, hang on. Royal William Yard. Tombstoning damages your health. Noted. Right, I have to basically skirt along the entire outer edge of the south of the city of Plymouth. All along stuff like this. Looking for secret cryptic signs. Can you see it? It's there, look. Yes. Acorns everywhere. It's quite a puzzle. I don't like cities, this is where I get lost usually. Lose the markers. Is there a museum maybe? Don't know, there's a lot of it. So I need to keep trogging on. It does look like rain coming, yeah. Okay. It's nice. They've made an artificial cliff for me here. Just when I was getting too used to the flatness. Someone's inlaid brass plaques with Sherlock Holmes quotes all along this street. Bizarre. Yeah. Things you see. So there you go. Used to practice medicine here. Now we know. It's the Plymouth Hoe. I know, let it go. Hectic trudge through a lot of grey today. Skies and ground. Starting to get to a touristy bit though, so thinking of taking a drink and an ice cream soon. I've got to get all the way over there somehow and then round the end. There's a lot of inland there to do as well. It could take me ages to get out of here. Oh, I'll keep at it. There we go, Mayflower Memorial, 1620. And a big metal prawn on a stick. Can't stop, it's raining. Got to get the phone away into the little bag as well. Bye. Well, hopefully the rain has stopped for the day now. A few spits left still, but hopefully I can get out all this clobber. It's quite hot marching along in this coat. Very good heat insulator. I use it as a blanket at night. Also, the hood's got amazing soundproofing properties, so I can't really hear traffic when I'm wearing it as well. So yeah, Yeah, I'll probably try and get the proper microphone out again once my clothes are all dried out of it. Yeah, so I need to be over on the far side of that, basically going that way, but it's quite a long way up that way to go to get to a bridge, and then we've got to trudge across that and come back again. Plymouth is entirely outstaying its welcome at this point. Right, I need to keep moving. Losing a lot of time today. So I'm still in Plymouth. Working my way out. I think I'm most of the way through now, but I still have to get back and across and up to that big hill in the distance, I think. Oh, that's rather cool. Some sort of, oh, who knows what, folly, Watergate, something like that. It's like a bridge or dam with a strange little castle on it. Really made sense at the time. There's a sign over there saying it's 118 miles to Lynmouth along something called the Plym Trail. I guess that just cuts south coast to north coast. That's probably not what I want to be doing today. 7 miles to Wembury that way. So that's my next place. That's a long way. I reckon I must have done at least 10 miles coming through Plymouth since the ferry. So yeah, just getting out of Plymouth might be an achievement for today. I'm going to try and get to Wembury if I can. Again, you know, sunsets at 7:30ish, so 1 o'clock now, so that's 6.5 hours. Should be able to get most of the way there. Got this kind of robotic determined trudge that must be about 2 miles an hour. So yeah, I've probably hit Wembury and slightly beyond. I don't reckon I'll get to Newton Ferrers today, which is where I was aiming at for the end of this particular day. But then again, you know, slips and so on. I mean, I'm basically running a system where I end up 2 or 3 miles short of wherever I'm aiming at for a given day, just so I can find somewhere to camp or muck about with ferries. There is a ferry at Newton Ferrers, and if winter time is like the Kreml ferry over there, then I think the last ferry, because the last ferry from Cornwall to Plymouth was 6:30, it turns out. I mean, the park gate locked at 8 and I wouldn't have made that, but if even if I'd have got through that park, I would have been about 2 hours late for the ferry. So, and there really didn't look like anywhere to wild camp on that side. So I think that's a smart move, is just get to or near each ferry at the end of a day, and then you can just rock up for the first one. Because I think winter time, if it's running at all, it tends to be the last ferries that change, because it's more about daylight than, you know, winter storm conditions or icebergs or anything. So usually the early ferries, I think, if the whole thing's running at all, the earlier ferries will still run regularly. So it makes sense to try and get to the ferry point the night before, and then just wait for the first one each morning. Yeah, I mean, the weather's all right now. It's stopped. I think it's given up on the rain for the day, which is good. Checked multiple sources of weather reports. Now I've got some decent phone signal. Yeah, should be overcast, cloudy like this pretty much the rest of the day. Mind you, quite a contrast from yesterday, which was 24 degrees, blazing sunshine, and I've got my handle pink, so as usual. So yeah, swings and roundabouts. Yeah, it's pretty dismal actually. I didn't record much in the last hour or two, and not much worth reporting on, to be honest. It was mostly out of town retail parks, small industrial estates, gas towers, you know, gas drums, a lot of high walls with spirally barbed wire on the top. So haven't missed much. I can't wait to get out into the countryside again. It's not that I hate Plymouth particularly, I just don't really like cities. I come on this kind of trip to enjoy the great outdoors, the wild wind whistling through wild heather on high cliff tops, and hasn't been much of that today. This has just been basically a very large place full of people who just work and live here, which, you know, people do, but I could get that at home. So yeah, looking forward to continuing my trudge up that way somehow. I don't know if I need to get up and on top of that cliffy bit straight ahead and come round, or I don't know. I'm just giving up caring. I'm just following the acorns. In all due defence, you know, to give it credit, they've done a very good job of signposting the South West Coast Path through Plymouth. There's basically acorns spray painted onto lampposts pretty much every couple of hundred metres along the way. Been very difficult to get lost at all, so that's good. You know, they do their bit to maintain the path and make it as painless as possible, but ultimately it is, you know, 8 to 12 miles worth of trudging through in a city. And some of it's all, you know, regenerated docklands full of like prezzos and wagamamas and whatnot, and some of it's pretty grim old industrial estates that smell of fish. Some sort of fish packing thing going on over there. And it rained at exactly the wrong time to help alleviate my impressions of the city. But that seems to be out of the way now, and if it stays fine for the rest of the week, well, we'll see. I mean, it rains on me, I get rained on, you know, I have to get the anorak out. John seems to think whenever I go hiking that we get heat wave. Well, you know. So yeah, I was going to sit for a little bit, but I'm just worried about how much time I've wasted there. I did go past to go outdoors in one of the out-of-town retail estates as I was trudging along some dual carriageway from somewhere to somewhere else. And I thought I could detour off and pop in there, but it'd be like another hour or a half hour wasted, and I'm not sure there's anything really they've got in there that would help at this stage. I think it's just sheer ruddy gumption and grit to get me through, but certainly on future occasions after I'm home again and once I'm doing my little weekend hikes, I may experiment with insoles and new fresh, new fluffier socks, that sort of thing. I just, you know, I'm going to get in there, take my boots off, the staff will all collapse, you know. It won't be very dignified for any of us. I do stink right now, let's just put it that way. So yeah, hardship, but worthwhile, you know. I mean, partly, you know, I am actually enjoying this despite my bitter complaining and everything, but also I do look back on during the rest of the year on these trips and think, yeah, I did something there, I did a thing. I didn't just, you know, go to work, come home, go to work, come home. I did a thing. I took a week and I went to a place and I did something not many people do, and it was difficult and I stuck with it, you know. So it's important to my future self that I get this done as much as, you know, myself here now. Yeah, overall time schedule wise, I think I'm probably looking at a Saturday finish in Torcross then. But I reckon probably that'll be me camping just somewhere just outside Torcross on the Friday night, and then I can just sort of saunter into there. Got a friend who might be coming to meet me as well, so, you know, I have to try and work out which, whether it's the Friday or the Saturday, just to be able to let him know what's going on. I might be able to cadge a lift to a train station from him, which would help a lot. So yeah, there's 2 different buses before I can get to either Totnes or Newton Abbot from Torcross, so, which complicates the trains, the getting home situation. But yeah, that's all academic if I never make it there, so I'm going to have to stand up, bag on, boots down, go for it. That way, again, continue my apparently never-ending quest to escape Plymouth. There's also Plymouth there, look, it's just ridiculous. Look at it on a map, it's huge, it doesn't need to be that big. Look at Basingstoke, relatively tightly compact. Plymouth, it's all over the place. Can't just blame it on estuaries, you know. I reckon that would have been a useful bridge at one point. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at the moment. Cloverley Bay next, no number. Oh God, I'm on top of that cliff thing I spotted earlier. I can recover on the downhill bit. Dream of lemonade. So this is Mountbatten, still in Portsmouth. There's a bar there, I'm going in there to get some lemonade. No one's going to stop me. And there's a ferry terminal. It goes across to the Barbican, which is over there. And if I'd have taken that ferry, I could have saved myself 5 miles. But not allowed, not on the list. Not one of the approved ferries. God, today's been a massive waste of Plymouth. Well, I need to stop anyway. So, see what the deal is in here. Could watch that for hours. Wow, this place is taking COVID seriously. Chain panel fencing with arrows on. Gonna go in down the other end behind. Oh, zigzags all the way up through there. You got to stand in right places and be cold. First place I've been to that actually made me sign the track and trace book as well. They asked me to do that. And then the bloke went back and made sure I hadn't written Mickey Mouse, you know. So they are taking it seriously. Mind you, if this is the place I think I could see from the far shore when I was camping, not camping, whatever, this was quite busy last night. I could hear it booming across the water. All the lights along the upper thing were on. So I guess this is quite a night spot normally. got a lot of families in there doing the big lunch thing. So I don't know how far to anywhere anymore. I'm just going to keep going. Eventually Plymouth will not be Plymouth, and then I'll be up onto a moorland cliff top again, and all will be well. But for now, yeah, that thing's been there the whole time. Some sort of naval auxiliary vessel, refuelling tanker of some sort, heavy lifter or whatever. And then there's this as well. Come on, focus. You know you want to. Oh, whatever. Brittany Ferries, I think, it says on the side. Not sure where that goes to. They run to St Malo and Santander as well from here. Quite a long old crossing, I think. It's like a day. Might do it one day. Once the air industry's collapsed, it'll be the only option. So it does rather look like I'm running out of Portsmouth. Plymouth. Keep doing that in my head. So I think I just need to go along there, up past these white houses, and then, way, look at all that. I mean, ordinarily I'd be cursing the back-breaking nature of those high cliffs, but just very pleased to be out of the city. As I say, nothing particular against Plymouth myself, it's just it goes on a very long time and is mostly raining. So I'm going to stop and put some suntan stuff on there, because now the sun's back out. And then see about getting on up into those hills. So I should be looking forward to it. There should be some good views back from there, I'll tell you. There we go, look at that, there's some Southwest Coast Path veneration there. Big old block of stone, acorn in it, west it says. Probably says south on the other side, but I can't be bothered to get up and have a look. Bit of a climb there. And we're up and away. And look at that. So that's that'll be Rames Head on the far end, well, Penlee Point more like. That'll be King's Sand and Cawsand. And then over there will be the ferry, and it's about just on the end of there, the other side of that peninsula. And it's 14:38 now. And as we saw, I got the 9 o'clock ferry in the end. So it's taken me about 5 hours just to get to here, walking along the shoreline of Plymouth. It's most of my day. So I think Newton Ferry, well, Wembury's about, I don't know, 3 or 4 more miles that way. Newton Ferrers is somewhat beyond there, another mile or 2. So I need to just get to Wembury, I think, and then start looking for somewhere. It's quite early actually. And then my feet are taking a bit of a pounding, but not much can be done about that really. Just get on with it. Well, I mean, what can be done about it is to take more rest stops like I'm doing right now. It helps. It'll make them last a bit longer. So I reckon I'm about halfway through, I suppose. So we got so the proper itinerary was Par to Polperro, day 1, then Polperro to Port Wrinkle, and then Port Wrinkle to, no, it's gone. Port Wrinkle, was there another one in between? Oh god, I've just lost it, I really have. No, I think Par to Polperro, Polperro to Port Wrinkle to Plymouth. Well, that doesn't necessarily say where on the 8-mile stretch the point that marks you having done that day is. And then it's Plymouth to Newton Ferrers, then Newton Ferrers to Bigby-on-Sea, and then I need the other hand to hold the camera. Bigby-on-Sea to Salcombe, and then Salcombe to Torcross. So winding that all back, I've done 3 days. I'm in day 4 now. Yeah. So 3 more days after this, I think. More or less. Hang in there. I guess that'd be a no then. There's an alternative route over there. the road. There we are. Full 175.5 miles from here. It's the kind of encouragement I need right now. I guess this marks the outer edge of Plymouth in this direction. Because we saw a similar one when we got off the ferry. Minehead on it. And there it is, Admiral's Hard, 10 miles. So yeah, 10 miles from here to the ferry. Welcome to Plymouth, please wipe your feet. I think the mistake was thinking of Plymouth as a point, as a destination. It's an area, it's a region. It's basically 10 miles of windy dockland. Still, only got about 4 miles to Wembury, I think, so 5 miles to Wembury Beach, it said, just down by the benches. So, 15-mile day, and a bit on the far side. Now we'll see. Yeah, it's all good though. Alright, definitely leaving Plymouth now. Wow, looks like the road's nearly dropped away as well. Sorting it out. I can still get through though, so that's the main thing. Some hefty MOD thing behind me. There's a big sign here. Staden Heights Defences. Yeah. Kind of reminds me of climbing up out of Helston as well. Is it Falmouth? Falmouth, yeah, not Helston. I don't know which. One of the two. Still, no mistake in that breakwater though, that's quite unique. Crikey, that's unexpected. This is some more MOD stuff there. There's a little bridge across a gap. The firing range probably. So I don't know where that is. That doesn't look like Wembury. Is it something a bit nearer? Should we be there yet? Don't know. Stuff down there. Let's see what we can see. Meow. Yeah, you're having an easier holiday than I am. You catch me loafing again. So it's around 4:30, and finally I think we're just about leaving Plymouth Estuary, Tamar, Plymouth Sound, whatever. That's the breakwater from another angle. You had to get a 360-degree scan from all my holiday footage at this rate. You can see Rame Head right in the distance there. I think it's pretty much where I was about this time yesterday. So that's not bad, given how involuted Plymouth is. Now carry on down there. I think I just passed a place called Bovey's Sound, where they had a cafe, so I grabbed a Magnum Ruby one this time. I'm not so sure about all this pink chocolate. Tastes just like normal chocolate to me. The raspberry sauce in the middle, but anyway, I digress. So I've had a half-litre bottle of Sprite and topped up both my water bottles again. And I can't even remember the name on the sign. There's another beach about 1.5 miles that way, which isn't Wembury either. So I've still got quite a bit of trekking to do. I mean, I'll get there. It's just the, I've got the hours. It's just the minutes are pretty lousy. Oh, it's magnificent here though. I mean, I am burning a bit, but that's okay. That washes off eventually. Oh, like I say, in any other circumstance, this would be a magnificent holiday. Maybe I ought to just start doing, rent a cottage in coastal Cornish town and just do little day trips. Take everything quite to such extremes. Yeah, but then, it's sunk cost fallacy and all that. This is my 6th week at the whole thing. I might as well try and finish it. But good. No, I'm enjoying myself. Just putting the achy feet into perspective, that's all. It's great. It's lovely here. Glassy, calm sea. It's a bit humid because the sun is obviously evaporating off all the rain that we had around lunchtime, so it's quite a moisture in the air as well still at the moment, but I think as the evening comes on, not much wind around either. So yeah, hard going, but I'm alright. Keep getting water and drink fizzy drinks everywhere I go. Keep remembering to eat as well. really loss of appetite this trip. I don't know what that is, probably a warning sign of some sort. But yeah, just so much water. Although I've got to watch out, I can't remember what it is, there's some condition where if you just drink so much water without much salt, you end up basically diluting your body. It can cause problems. I think it might be where cramps come from actually. But, I've got nuts, which I've been eating, picking away at. Salted nuts. So yeah, it's all good. Yeah, barges on tow. I wonder where they're going, what they're doing. Some sort of tugboat. It's all busy coming and going in this harbour. It's got a busy working harbour. See all these big military boats as well. I thought they were all at Dartmouth, but maybe that's a training place. We won't be seeing Dartmouth this week. That'll be the week in May next year, probably. Go through and past that. But yeah, I'm sure Plymouth's got its fair share of naval dockyards and whatnot. I think I walked past a few of them. Alright, more water, and then I need to keep pushing on. Got around 3 hours of daylight left, so it ought to see me to Wembury and somewhat beyond. That's the plan anyway. Alright. Here we are. Haybrook Bay. It's like hyperspace. You're in one place and then you're in another place. And it takes a lot longer and it hurts more. So that's Bother Sands, a mile away. And that's Wembury Beach, 1.5 miles away. Can't read that really, can you? It's all dark. Exposure. That's okay. So Wembury's where I was trying to get to today. And then I'd need to just, stagger on a little bit until I find a suitable hedge at dark. I think it might still be on schedule. Hard going though. I'd say this is going to be one of the most challenging weeks, actually because of the sheer distance involved. Although since we turned the corner out of Plymouth Harbour, it does seem to be a bit lower, the cliffs and stuff, so I'm hoping not quite so many back-breaking sets of stairs. Still, we'll see. I've got to carry on after I've had a bit of a sit and a drink. I wish I had some data for how much I was actually sweating, because when I've been to the toilet there wasn't much. So it must be going somewhere. I must be breathing a lot of it out. I've been drinking like stupid all day. It's got to have gone somewhere. Oh, this is totally worth it though. Look at that. Beautiful. People want to retire down here. Hell, give me a decent broadband, I could live anywhere. So I'll be able to talk in a minute. So that's Great Mewstone. No, I had no idea, don't ask. Maybe it looks like a cat from the right angle, or in high storms it makes a noise like a cat. Don't know. Have to go look that one up yourselves. Over there is a new vista. These cliffs look like they're going to be an energetic day. Still, it is what it is. I'm hoping those are more than 4 miles away, because that means they're not today. I don't think they're today. There's too much haze. Too far away. No, I reckon that's the other side of Newton Ferrers. That's the other side of the river crossing. Be up and onto the tops. Between here and Digby-on-Sea. Digby-on-Sea. Don't know. Whatever. They've all got names, They're all quite unique. Good. So, just keeping on. Yeah. There goes a back twinge. Good. So, that must be Wembury then. Doesn't look like there's a lot there. And then I suppose Newton Ferrers must be around that corner there where those yachts are on the far side, and that must be a river inlet. Which means I need to be camping somewhere up on there, I suppose, but Well, it's going to be calm and warm tonight again, so it's not going to be dangerous, but the top's generally a bit sparse on flat bits to put the tent on. Oh, we'll see. At least it's fairly flat from here to the here to Wembury. Just follow this coastline. It's all about 20 metres above sea level all the way around, which is a nice change. Just coast on round, see what we can see. Alright. Majestic flock of gulls on the evening tide. This is what they're doing when they're not stealing people's chips. Yeah, bonus ornithology. That's what we like to see. Progress updates. 206 to go. So that was yesterday. Don't imagine it'll change suddenly today, but you never know. So 10 AM. Looks like a bit of a late start tomorrow then. Oh, that's good. So I find myself in a position where there's literally no point in pushing on. Sign down there. Sign down there says that today, ferry ran from 10 AM to 4 PM. There's no reason to assume it's suddenly going to change tomorrow. Seasons tend to end at weekends. So that means I won't be able to get to Newton Ferrers until 10 AM tomorrow morning. I mean, I'm normally up and packed by about 7:30 in the morning. The sign there said it was 45 minutes walk from here to the ferry. So it's probably an hour by my footsore stumping. So yeah, and I've got about an hour and a half until the sun sets. So obviously I don't want to be pitching the tent well before sunset. There's no reason for anyone to be taking that path after about 4 PM because there won't be a ferry waiting for them at the end. I mean, you can loop round and come back elsewhere, I suppose. But so yeah, so I've literally nothing to do for the next hour or so. So I'm just going to sit on this bench, drink my water, enjoy the scenery, try and keep my feet up. Maybe eat some peanuts. Cafe down there's closed, but it's fine. I'm full. I'm all sorted already. There's some toilets there that are open, but again, I've topped my water up as well. So yeah, I've got time on my hands. But this is all going to plan. I mean, the ferry's a little later than I thought it would be. I'd have thought there'd been something around 8, but 8 or 9 or 10, that's all right. Yeah, it's all good. We'll have to see how that knocks on to the other two. There's 2 more ferries to sort out beyond that one. I'll deal with them when we get there. Not sure what that's doing. I think that's still looking like I'm going to get to just outside Tor Cross and into a hedge somewhere on Friday night and then finish on Saturday morning. But we'll see. We'll see how we go. Made some very good time on that last stump. Think of it as hit the zone again. It's like, yes, I know feet, but there's nothing I'm going to do about you until we get home. So they sort of, I don't know, just stop worrying about it. You get into this transcendental not caring state really, which I think might be bad in the long term, but it's only got to last another 3-4 days, so I think we'll be alright. I think I'm made of sterner stuff. Anyway, I'm going to sit here and just chill for a bit. So view mode. Yeah, so I've just taken advantage of some rather fine internet access here and mobile data signal. And it turns out that tomorrow I've got 2 rivers to cross. One is the River Yelm, which has the ferry that we've discussed, and the other is the River Erm, which has no bridge and no ferry, but apparently can be easily forded an hour either side of low tide. So it's going to be exciting. My poor feet. I mean, they could do with a wash, certainly, but it wasn't quite what I had in mind. So that's going to be exciting. Good, I'm going to carry on reading because it sounds like I haven't done nearly enough research for this journey. It's so peaceful and tranquil here. And yet all along crisis looms. So I think I've come up with a plan. So I've done my research. Low tide, which is, so apparently it's safe to ford across, or to wade across the Erne at an hour either side of low tide. Low tide tomorrow is around midday, Unfortunately, because I have to wait till 10 o'clock for the first ferry to cross this river I'm approaching, and when we get to the other side of that, for probably about 10:30 or so by the time you faffed around. And then that gives me an hour and a half to do about 9 miles. Which is mad. I mean, even in my freshest, with no bag, I couldn't do that. So, well, I mean, even an hour after I mean, I don't want to leave it until exactly an hour after low tide either, because that's the time you'd start to try the crossing and it all goes wrong, and next thing you know, I'm on the news. So, what I'll do, so it turns out that the crossing is about 5 miles from Bigbury-on-Sea. Now that's where I'm trying to get to tomorrow. Now, as usual, my current plan is that I stop a bit short of my destination and camp and then walk into the place in the morning for breakfast. So if I stop 5 miles short of Bigbury-on-Sea, I can basically camp this side of the in the evening. And there is a low tide at midnight, by the way, 22 minutes past midnight, but I just don't think doing it in the dark's going to help matters. Unless there's a big bright moon and I've got more lights on me than usually I carry. I think that's just asking for folly. Trying to afford it in the dark. That's just, no, that's just, I mean, you know, there might be a moon, there might not be, even if there is, there's probably not going to be enough light to see what I'm doing properly. I don't have any really bright torches or anything, just little, you know, bike lights for visibility on roads. Not a million candle power torches or anything. So, that's out, don't do that, that's stupid, that's mad. So that leaves me waiting until midday the day after tomorrow. Basically, I get to the river, get to this bloody set up camp, have a peaceful night's sleep next to the river, babbling gently in my ear, I'm sure. And then in the morning, sit around and wait until about midday. I can probably get away with it from 12:44 that day is low tide, so I can, it says hour either side. I could probably start my attempt at 11:44. So I'll have lost, I don't know, about 4 hours of walking on that day. But that's okay. I can sort of try and catch that up in stages as I go. I mean, there's 2 bloody more rivers after that as well. They've got bridges and boats and things. But basically, it's turning into a bit of a nightmare. I mean, the guide website says this section needs planning in advance, but there's not much more I could do about it, really. I can't really control the tides. I mean, pick a particular year when it all lines up, a particular month. September's when I do this. September it is. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just going to walk down to the ferry, see what the deal is. I know it's not running, but, you know, maybe I can find somewhere to put a tent near, but otherwise I might just come back up here. This has not got sheep in, it's quite wide, reasonably flat places, grass, etc. Scoping out campsites as I walk, obviously. But yeah, we'll go down to the ferry. If it's no good down there, I might come back up here once all these evening dog walkers have buggered off. And then just set myself up here for the night. And I need to be back down there for 10 tomorrow. I must get the first ferry, then get all the way to the River tomorrow, up across all that. And then we'll see what we see. It's almost certainly going to be too dangerous to cross when I arrive. I'll have missed my window. At which point I'll just lafe around by the river for the rest of the day, set up in the evening, and await my opportunity the following day. That'll give me, and presumably there's not too much faffing around. If I can get across it in half an hour without too much spluttering or dying, that'll still give me about 7 hours worth of hiking following that, so I can just push on to Bigby and then out the other side, possibly get most of the way to Salcombe, maybe catch up. I don't know. Then we have to see what the deal is with the other rivers. I do have a friend who lives nearby, who I've been in coordination with. Lives not too far from here, and he's been offering to give me lifts and things around various obstacles. But I want to try and do it first, see if I can manage without help. But yeah, just unfortunate timing, I think, more than anything else. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to just mosey on and see what I can see. So I had a quick look, and turns out no, there wasn't any helpful boatkeeper, just sat around waiting for, whiling away his evening for just in case late hikers. So I think I'm going to, so phase 1 of my quite complicated next couple of days plan is to do the necessary here. This is a path that goes north of the ferry terminal and says no through rope path ends in 100 metres. It does, I go on to the end and back, it ends in a little gate marked private. It kind of implies that this part is not private, otherwise it would just say private. So this is a path on which I'm probably allowed to be, which goes nowhere, which is perfect really for what I need. Got a bit of tree cover from that's all the houses on the far bank. To keep my voice down though, the sound carries very far on these flat waters. So yeah, I'm going to probably spend the night. Once I've got my tent set up, it's going to have to be in the middle of the path, but no help for it, I'm afraid. There's not much room either side. Just have to hope no one's going to come through here until, you know, some small time after dawn tomorrow. Seems unlikely. Then up and at 'em first thing, bright light, bright dawn and early. Get up, get sorted, get packed, get stowed, get over to the wharf, and then just wait till 10 o'clock. And I get lift across to Nos Moes, or whatever it's called over there. And from there I begin my hike. I'm not going to bust a gut because I know I can't make low tide. So I just want to get that day done, have a bit of a relaxed pace, and then scope out the once I get there. And then again, set up, spend the night, get ready for the assault around lunchtime tomorrow. Or lunchtime the day after that, in fact. So this is all going to put me probably a bit late to Tor Cross. I might end up looking at Saturday or maybe Sunday, but can't be helped. It's quite complicated now, but I don't get into any trouble with the remaining two rivers beyond those either. I mean, those are all I think those are both ferries, but hopefully those ferries are a bit more reliable and regular. But it's all on weird timings now. So somebody on the southwest coast part of the website must have designed these stages to be doable. And I think under most circumstances they are. It's just the tides. They shift all year round. Can't possibly predict whether the tide will be helpful or not when you write the website 4 years ago. So yeah, we'll see what we see really. Worst comes to worst, I can get taxis or take up offers of help. But yeah, we're doing all right at the moment. So I just need to get set up here. On that wide bit there, I think. Right, well anyway, it's getting dark anyway, so I shall speak to you tomorrow.